Are the Gospels reliable? One test of the Gospels' veracity is whether they display familiarity with the time and places they were wrote. If they do not, that quickly reveals that they cannot be trusted historically. If they do, that does not on its own demonstrate that all of what they wrote is true. It merely shows that the writers had enough know-how to write the true stories, and it eliminates the objection that they were too distant from the events to be trusted. One of the clearest indications of familiarity of the Gospel writers with the context they were writing about comes in form of their knowledge of personal names. A series of scholarly studies has shown that, though Jews were located in many places in the Roman Empire, the different locations had rather distinct naming patterns, and the popularity of various names among Jews outside Palestine bore little relationship to those inside Palestine. A New Testament scholar, Richard Bauckham, has drawn up charts of the relative frequency of different Jewish personal names in Palestine. He sourced all of this information from Josephus, the Dead Sea Scrolls, early rabbinic texts, and ossuaries. The chronological boundaries of his investigations are from 330 BC to AD 200, but in fact, the vast bulk of the data comes from 50 BC to AD 135. Bauckham also excludes clearly fictional characters. For Jews in Palestine, Bauckham finds 2,953 occurrences of 521 names, of which 2,625 occurrences of 447 male names and 328 occurrences of 74 female names. Here are the 6 most popular Palestinian Jewish names. We can see that there is a fairly good correlation. Bauckham also shows that, particularly among male names for which there are more data, the percentages of names in the Gospels and Acts are very similar to those across all data sources for the period, approaching their closest when we look at the 9 most popular male names, which is the largest dataset in the following table. There were many Jews in Egypt at the time of the New Testament. For instance, in the great city of Alexandria, 2 of the 5 corridors were called Jewish because of the considerable number of Jewish inhabitants. However, in the next table, Jews in Egypt had a very different set of names as found in Jewish inscriptions from there. So whether we look at Jews in Libya or Jews in Western Turkey, their patterns of names were quite different from those in Palestine. Rome had many Jews, but unlike those from Palestine, their names were mainly Greek or Latin, with only a tiny fraction being Hebrew or Aramaic. The distinctions in names between locations are multifaceted, with different high and low frequency names for both males and females, for different languages, and for names unique to each location. In other words, someone living in another part of the Roman Empire would not simply be able to think of Jewish names familiar to him and put them into a story, resulting in a plausible group of names for Palestinian Jews, which raises the probability that whoever wrote the Gospels was close to the facts of the current time. And this again eliminates the objection that whoever wrote the Gospels must have been too distant from the place and the events to be trusted.